Hey, I'm back at my old spot. Back. Oh, that reminds me. Back to Live is now out. The brand new live album by Sylvan. The second live album they did in their 26-year career. So that's not a lot really. And the interesting thing is this album was recorded at the Boerderij in Zoetermeer in October 2023. Hey, wait a second, there was another live album recorded at the Boerderij, also in October 2023, that I reviewed before this one, the Flower Kings album. So, hey, wait, I'm not ready, I'm not done. Hey, wait.
Hey there, kids. We are in Halo, and you're watching LiveProg.
Hey, welcome to LiveProg. I am Marcel Haster. Welcome to a brand new video about, yes, back to live. Not live, but live. Back on stage. But also maybe a little bit back to life for the German art rock band Sylvan, because their last studio album, 120, was released in 2021, which was smack in the middle of the pandemic. So yes, you could go into the studio and record an album, but you could not go out on stage and perform for the fans, which was a bummer, of course, which was a bummer for a lot of bands. But fortunately, that all went pretty much away. Life is pretty much back to normal, so bands can go out and tour again. So that's what Sylvan did. They decided, you know what, it's been so long. It's been 16 years since our first live album, because in the 26 years that Sylvan exists, since 1998 when they were formed, this is their second live album. Their first live album, Leaving Backstage, or the Posthumous Silence Show, was of course centered around their 2006 epic album, which was their breakthrough, although, you know, I discovered them with X-Ray in 2004, and from that moment on I already loved the sound of the band, and that only grew because for that, you know, I'm not giving a objective review of the album because I am a big fan. I love the band very much. That said, I looked at the track listing, or the set list, so you may say, because, you know, the track listing follows the set list. I have the CD. It's a double CD version. It's also available on vinyl, but it's also available on Blu-ray. And that is the difference between the other band that also performed at the Boerderij in October, the Flower Kings, because I didn't mention that in that review. Their live album was somewhat the result of an accidental fact that there was a recorder working during the show. With Sylvan, it was definitely no accident. They definitely did it on purpose because the Blu-ray is filmed with 28 cameras. Unless, of course, those 28 are cameras from phones in the audience, but that's not the case, of course. John Viss and his team did that, and I'm really curious to see it, so I'm really going to get myself a copy of it. On July the 14th, the band showed this concert film in a cinema in Hamburg, and I gotta say that sounds really cool. I really wish, you know, you had an opportunity to do that. Watch a concert film in a cinema. I think that would be pretty awesome. All right, back to the music, because I'm going to have to settle for the music, which is not a problem because I have enjoyed the heck out of this thing. Overall, I absolutely love it. I love the songs they bring. I also love it that they included some of the chatter that Marco did during the songs with the audience, you know, telling them things and stuff like that. So that makes it feel more like a live document rather than just the songs with some clapping in it to give it a live feel. When I looked at the track listing, and in this case I can divide it in two, the first half and the second half was disc 1 and disc 2. I gotta say that I favor disc 1, the first half of the set list. The second half of the set list is more focused on the inevitable Posthumous Silence. There are 4 songs from Posthumous Silence included in the second half on that second disc, and of course, I mean, when I put it on and I listen to it, I still get blown away by the songs because they are beautiful, but I've heard them so many times, and I gotta be honest, I kind of wish they included a little bit more songs from other albums, because there is nothing from Sceneries, unfortunately. And from the album Home, there's only 1 track, which is incidentally the opener of the show. It's called In Between, which is very nice, of course, but it would have been nice to see more songs of that, and maybe less from Posthumous Silence, because we already have a live album with the entire Posthumous Silence album on it. But, okay, never mind. By the way, you may think, you know, Home? Where's Home? You don't have it? Yes, I have Home, but I don't have it on CD. I bought it on vinyl a while ago. I was at a record store, and the guy who runs it, he mentioned that he had a Sylvan record that he bought, he was going to sell, and I was like, okay, which one? never mind which one, I want to buy it anyway. And it turned out to be home, and I'm really happy with it. But I might get it on CD along with the other missing albums to have the CD collection complete. But I'm digressing, of course. Let's go back to the music. Like I said, in between from the 2015 album Home is the opener of the show. And I gotta say, I think it's a great opener because that song, 11 minutes and 32 seconds, that pretty much sums up everything there is about Sylvan. It is a more guitar-orientated song. It's heavier, but at the same time it does have these softer, these fragile, emotional elements in it. The amazing rhythm section, the beautiful guitar solos, the keyboards, and of course, Marco Glühmann, the vocalist. I am a big fan of his voice. That's not the only reason why I love Sylvan so much, but it's a very important one because he has this very distinct, very, voice that when you hear it, you know it's him. And yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Now, I mentioned the band went out to tour to support their 2021 release 120. And that album, fortunately, is well represented here, just as Posthumous Silence is, with 4 songs. Now, as you can see, I don't have that album. I don't have it on vinyl either. Unfortunately not. I have listened to the album and I gotta say I love it very much, but I haven't listened that much to it. But at the same time, I did notice when I was listening to this album that those songs are absolute highlights. And the first one you find already is the second track they played that evening, Encoded at Heart. And when I was listening to that, the way it starts off with these soft pianos and really builds up to this beautiful song. I noticed that not only on this show, but with Sylvan, you have a lot of songs that start out real soft and often with piano, and then they work up to this really big climax. And that is a very important reason why I love the music of Sylvan so much, because they have so much emotion in it and they really manage to build that up and then let it burst out. And yeah, that's I love, and that you have a lot here. But that Encoded at Heart, it also sort of a catchy song where you get the chorus in your head. I love that very much as well. Trust in Yourself is the third song they played, also from 1 to 0. Then they go way back into time and they go all the way back to 2004 to X-Rayed. Give, Used, Forgotten. And I gotta say, I'm really happy they included that song. It's been a while since I listened to that album, so I don't have it in the front of my head, very sharp which songs were on it again. But when I was listening to that song, it was like, this is so beautiful. The way they bring it, the way Marco sings it, but also these beautiful, beautiful guitar solos in it by Johnny Beck. That is so amazing. That song is absolutely one of the highlights of this album for me, along with the tracks from 1 to 0. The last track on the first disc, the last track on the half of the set list, first half, was a surprising one. When I noticed it, when I was looked at it, it was like King Porn. From Force of Gravity. Now, Force of Gravity is an album that kind of divides fans a little bit. There are those who love it, there are those who hate it. Maybe hate is a strong word, don't like it very much. I am on the side that, I kind of like the album very much. I've listened to it quite a bit. But at the same time, when I saw it, it's like, why did it include King Porn? But then I started listening to it and I listened to that version. And what I did notice is, we're about 40 minutes into the show at that point. And you really notice that Marco is a bit out of breath at the point. When he's introducing King Porn, you hear a little bit that he's out of breath. I understand it because, if you listen to the music of Sylvan and you see the dynamic range of the music, of the vocals, it can be quite a challenge to sing that, especially live and especially so much. That's maybe one of the reasons why the whole show is an hour and a half long. Maybe that's the kind of limit that Marco can handle on doing this live, because it is quite tough, quite challenging. But and when I listen to this album, I say kudos for him for doing an amazing job here. Like I said, when I was listening to the whole King Porn track, I gotta say I really found myself enjoying it. It is a great track. They played it fantastically here. It has this small kind of Rage of the Machine bit in the middle of it, because Force of Gravity is a heavier album in the catalog of Sylvan. The second half of the show, like I said, it focuses more on Posthumous Silence, 4 tracks of it. Fortunately, they have another track from 1 to 0. That is the opening track of disc number 2, Part of Me. And again, that is a beautiful song. Again, it opened with this soft piano. It's such an emotional song. Yeah, wow, what can I say? I absolutely love it. We also have Heal from Presets, the only track from that song. And we have another track from 1 to 0, Go Viral. Like I said, another highlight of it. You know, I've been realizing I've been talking a lot about the songs, but I haven't really mentioned the musicians. I mentioned Marco Glühmann, I mentioned some guitars, I mentioned some piano. Let me do a quick rundown of the band to have it complete in this video. Like I said, Marco Glühmann on vocals, Matthias Harder on drums, Sebastian Harnack on bass and bass pedals, and again, listen to the songs. Put headphones on, listen how beautiful the rhythm section sounds on this album. It's really amazing. Sometimes they don't stand out that much, but they are there and they play a very important role. Then we have Volker Soul on keyboards and Johnny Beck on guitars. And well, these are the guys together with Marco that mainly get the spotlights because of their solos and because of these piano parts in it. But altogether, it is a fantastic live album. I'm really happy they decided to record it, to release it on CD, on vinyl, and on Blu-ray. Get a copy in whichever format you like. I hope you're going to enjoy it. If you listen to it, let me know in the comments what you think of it. Let me know what's your favorite track of it. Let me know what you think of why they included King Porn in it. Let me know what you think of that. Is it a good choice or should they have picked a different track? Maybe a different track from Force of Gravity, or maybe should have left it out at all. I'm glad they included it. Let me be clear on that, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think of it. So, back to Live from Sylvan. It is out in store. Get a copy, enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys with the next video.